Have you ever walked into a room and felt like people are keeping just a little more distance from you than they used to? No one says anything, no one makes a face, but you can feel it. It's that quiet shift, that invisible wall that leaves you wondering, is it me? Is it something I can't see? Or worse, something I can't smell? I've been there, and let me tell you, it's one of the loneliest feelings in the world. What breaks my heart is that most women our age feel it too, but suffer in silence because nobody talks about it. Nobody warns us that there's one tiny part of our body we've been ignoring for years, and it's quietly betraying us. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to hand you the truth that nobody else will, because once you know this, you can take back control. You can walk into any room with your head held high, knowing that you've handled something 99% of people your age still miss. And believe me, it's not your fault no one told you. But after today, that will never be your story again. 1. The unspoken truth. The painful reality. No one talks about. You know what no one ever prepared us for? That one day people would stop being honest with us. They'll smile, they'll nod, they'll keep the conversation polite, but they won't tell you what you really need to hear, especially when it comes to something as sensitive as how you smell. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I shower every day. I use deodorant. I wear clean clothes. This doesn't apply to me. But let me ask you something. Has anyone ever told you there's one tiny part of your body that's been quietly building up bacteria, oil, and dead skin for years? And it's not where you'd expect. This spot is so overlooked that even doctors don't bring it up unless you ask them directly. Not because it's not important, but because they don't want to make you feel embarrassed. So instead, they stay quiet. And we go on, unknowingly carrying around a smell we can't detect. But others can. I didn't find out until it was too late. It wasn't my daughter. It wasn't my best friend. It was a stranger, on a plane, who kept turning away from me the entire flight. At first I thought she was just rude, but when I got home and took a hard look at myself and did a little research, I found the truth. There's a reason so many older women carry what's been called the old person smell. And no, it has nothing to do with your age. It's not age. It's not bad hygiene. It's incomplete hygiene. And 99% of women over 60 are missing this one area entirely. The most painful part? We didn't even know. Because no one talks about it. Well, that ends today. In just a moment, I'm going to tell you exactly what this forgotten spot is, what causes the smell, and how you can fix it in less than 30 seconds a day, without fancy products or embarrassment. But first, I want you to know this. You are not alone. You are not broken. And this is 100% fixable. You just haven't been told the whole truth until now. 2. The science behind the silent smell. Now let's talk about the science, because this isn't just some old wives' tale or a beauty industry scare tactic. This is real, it's studied, and it's quietly affecting millions of women just like us. Have you ever heard of something called non-anal? Most people haven't. But researchers have known about it for years. Non-anal is a compound your skin produces as you age. It forms when fatty acids on your skin mix with oxygen in the air, a process called oxidation. You know how an apple turns brown after you slice it and leave it out? The same thing is happening on your skin. And here's the tricky part. When we were younger, our skin produced a different type of oil that naturally balanced itself out. Sweat and sebum flushed away impurities more effectively. But as we age, everything slows down. Our skin stops renewing itself as quickly. Our natural oils change in texture and composition, and dead skin cells start to linger longer. That lingering buildup becomes the perfect playground for bacteria. And bacteria, as we all know, love warm, hidden, moist places. Now, here's where it gets a little uncomfortable, but necessary. This odor? It's not coming from your armpits. It's not your feet. It's not your breath. It's coming from an area most of us have been missing for decades, behind our ears. Yes, that tiny, forgotten crease where your ear meets your scalp. The one spot nobody taught us to clean thoroughly because, well, who talks about ears? But behind the ear is one of the warmest, most neglected areas on the body. It's shielded by hair, glasses, hearing aids, earrings, and it's rarely, if ever, part of our intentional hygiene routine. And what's worse? Because it's tucked away, the bacteria and oils there sit undisturbed, sometimes for weeks, slowly creating that musty, stale smell we mistakenly think is just part of aging. It's not. That smell is your body crying out for attention. It's saying, "Please don't forget about me." And here's the good news. Once you know this, you can do something about it. No more guessing. No more wondering if it's you. In just a moment, I'll show you exactly how to clean this area safely, gently, and in a way that becomes part of your daily self-care ritual. But before we do that, I want to share a deeply personal story about how I discovered this the hard way, and how it completely changed the way I care for myself. 3. My personal wake-up call. Let me take you back to the moment that changed everything for me. It was a Sunday afternoon, one of those cozy days when my granddaughter was visiting. She's the kind of girl who always gives the biggest hugs, the kind that make you feel like you're the center of the universe. That day, she leaned in close to whisper something sweet in my ear. But in that brief moment, I caught a flicker in her face, a wrinkle of her nose, a hesitation. She didn't say a word. Kids are kind like that. But I saw it, and it hit me harder than I expected. At first, I told myself I was imagining things, but deep down, I knew. That night, I went home, stood in front of my bathroom mirror, and I really looked at myself. Not just my face, but the parts of me I usually ignored. I reached behind my ears, rubbed the skin, and, well, let's just say I was shocked. There was a waxy, greasy buildup, dry skin, and yes, a smell. Not overpowering, but sour, stale, and completely unfamiliar to me. I couldn't believe it. I had always prided myself on being clean, well-kept, put together. But this was something I had been blind to for who knows how long. And that's when the shame crept in. I started wondering. How many people had noticed but never said a word? How many quiet moments had been clouded by something I didn't even know was there? It broke my heart because I realized this wasn't just about hygiene. It was about connection, about how we show up in the world, about how we want to be remembered. From that day forward, I made a promise to myself. I would never let something so small, so easily fixable, come between me and the people I love. I learned the hard way, but you don't have to. That's why I'm telling you this now, because once you know where the problem is, you can reclaim your confidence, your presence, your dignity. And in the next part, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, step by step, in a way that feels gentle, caring, and empowering. Because this isn't just about getting rid of a smell, it's about honoring your body and the incredible woman you still are. The gentle fix: how to clean it right. Now that we know the truth, let's talk about the fix, because here's the beautiful part. This isn't complicated. It doesn't require expensive products or some fancy routine. It's simple, it's gentle, and it's something you can start today. But first, let me say this. Our skin changes as we age. What worked for us in our 30s, even our 50s, doesn't always work now. Our skin becomes thinner, more delicate, more prone to irritation. So we have to treat it like we would a cherished heirloom, with care, with patience, with love. Here's how I do it. Every night, when I'm winding down, I make it part of my self-care ritual. It's become as automatic to me now as brushing my teeth. I start with warm water, not hot, because hot water can strip the skin's natural oils and leave it drier, which only makes things worse in the long run. Then, I take a soft, clean washcloth or a cotton pad, something gentle that won't scratch or tug. I use a mild, fragrance-free soap. No harsh scents, no chemicals that can irritate aging skin. I lather up the cloth and I gently, mindfully reach behind my ears. Not just a quick swipe, but a soft massage into the crease where the ear meets the scalp, behind the lobe, and even under any jewelry I might have forgotten to take off. I take my time. I breathe. Because this isn't about rushing through another chore. It's about reconnecting with my body. Afterward, I rinse thoroughly and gently pat the area dry with a clean towel. That part is important. Moisture left behind can cause its own problems, especially if you wear glasses or hearing aids. And a couple times a week, I'll follow up with a little dab of gentle moisturizer or a toner with antibacterial properties. Nothing fancy, just enough to keep the skin balanced and happy. The key isn't doing this once and forgetting about it. It's consistency. It's building this into your routine until it becomes second nature. Because when you do, you'll feel the difference, not just in how you smell, but in how you feel about yourself. This small act becomes a quiet declaration. I'm still here. I still matter. And I deserve to feel fresh, confident, and radiant every single day. And the best part? Once you add this little step to your routine, you'll never have to wonder again if you're carrying around a smell you can't detect. You'll know you're showing up fully, beautifully, unapologetically you. In the next part, I'll share with you the surprising reason most women can't smell this problem themselves, and how you can test for it at home, easily and discreetly. 5. The hidden problem. Why you can't smell it yourself. Now, let's talk about something that trips up almost everyone. Why you probably can't smell it yourself. This is one of the most frustrating parts of this whole issue, because even after I started cleaning behind my ears, I kept asking myself, how did I miss this for so long? How could I have walked around not knowing? The answer? Our brains are wired that way. It's called nose blindness, and it's a completely normal, natural thing that happens to all of us. Especially as we get older. Your brain learns to tune out the scents you're exposed to every day. It's how you don't constantly notice the smell of your laundry detergent, your home, or even your own perfume after a while. It's a protective mechanism. But when it comes to personal odors, especially those coming from spots like behind the ears, it works against us. That's why this is such a silent problem. You can be the cleanest, most meticulous woman in the world and still not smell it. But the people around you? They will. And sadly, they probably won't say anything. Because, let's be honest, would you? Most people will take a tiny step back. They'll adjust how they hug you. They'll shorten conversations. Not because they don't care, but because they're uncomfortable, and they don't want to hurt your feelings. That's the heartbreak of it. Nobody tells us, so we go on, unknowingly sending out signals we'd never intend to send. But here's the empowering part. There's an easy, discreet way to check yourself at home. All you need is a cotton swab or a soft cloth. Gently wipe behind your ear, get right into that crease. Then smell it. If you notice even a faint sourness, a musty note, or anything that smells stale, bingo. You found it. And remember, this is not a moment to feel embarrassed. This is a moment to feel empowered. Because now you know. And knowing gives you back control. You're already ahead of 99% of people just by doing this one simple check. In the next part, I'm going to show you why this is about so much more than just hygiene. It's about your confidence, your presence, your legacy. It's about reclaiming the way you show up in the world, on your terms. 6. Reclaiming your confidence. It's more than hygiene. Let me tell you something I learned the hard way. This is not just about hygiene. This is about your presence, your confidence, your self-worth. Because when we carry an odor, even if we can't smell it, deep down something shifts inside us. We start second-guessing ourselves. We avoid getting too close. We hesitate before we hug someone we love. And before you know it, you start to shrink. You stop showing up the way you deserve to show up, as the vibrant, wise, beautiful woman you are. That's what broke my heart the most. It wasn't the smell itself. It was the quiet, invisible way it stole pieces of my life. The way I stopped raising my hand at community meetings. The way I avoided sitting too close to people at church. The way I started pulling back from the world without even realizing it. And the truth is, society doesn't make this any easier on us. We live in a world that worships youth and whispers about aging behind closed doors. We're told to fade quietly into the background. But I say no. We are not invisible. We are not broken. We are not meant to disappear. Taking care of your body, yes, even that tiny spot behind your ears, is an act of self-respect. It's an act of self-love. It's a statement to the world that says, I'm still here, and I'm still taking up space. Because you know what happens when you reclaim that part of yourself. You stand taller. You smile wider. You lean into hugs without hesitation. You fill a room with your energy, your warmth, your spark. Not because you're trying to be someone you're not, but because you're finally free to be all of who you are. And that's the gift I want for you. So yes, start by cleaning that small, forgotten spot. But more importantly, let it be the beginning of a bigger shift. A daily practice of honoring the woman you've become. Strong, resilient, radiant. You don't need permission. You just need to take that first small, gentle step. And before you go, if you found this message valuable, I invite you to share it with another woman who might need to hear it. Because no one is talking about this, but we should. And together, we can rewrite the story of aging, one confident, radiant woman at a time. 7. The legacy of confidence. Be the woman who breaks the silence. You know what I've come to realize? Our generation, women over 60, we carry a legacy that's bigger than we often allow ourselves to see. We've raised families. We've built careers, friendships, communities. We've overcome heartbreak, loss, challenges that would have crushed a younger version of ourselves. But somewhere along the way, we were taught to make ourselves smaller, to fade into the background, to accept things like loneliness, invisibility, or even that dreaded old person smell as just part of the deal. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's not. And it's not just about you. It's about the message we send to the younger women watching us, our daughters, our granddaughters, the women who will someday stand where we stand now. When you take back your confidence, when you show up fully in your life, unafraid, unapologetic, you're not just changing your story, you're giving them permission to do the same. You're becoming the kind of woman who breaks the silence, who says out loud what others only whisper about, who shows by example that taking care of yourself is not vanity. It's dignity. So today, I invite you to see this as more than a hygiene tip. See it as a torch you can carry forward. Share this knowledge. Talk about it with your friends, your sisters, your community groups. Because when we lift each other up, when we bring these hidden conversations into the light, we do something powerful. We rewrite the story of aging, not as a slow fade into irrelevance, but as a vibrant, radiant, unapologetic celebration of life. And that's the kind of legacy I know you're meant to leave. Are you ready? Let's do this together. Now that you know the truth, now that you hold this powerful little piece of knowledge in your hands, what will you do with it? I hope you'll take action for yourself. I hope you'll make that small, simple step behind your ears part of your daily self-care ritual, not because you're afraid of what others might think, but because you deserve to feel fresh, clean, and radiant for you. But even more than that, I hope you'll be brave enough to share this message, because I promise you, there's a woman in your life right now who needs to hear it, a sister, a friend, a neighbor, maybe even your own daughter. And if you don't tell her, who will? We have an opportunity to change the conversation around aging, around dignity, around self-love. To make it normal to talk about these things openly, honestly, without shame. So, before you go, I invite you to do 3 small things. First, take that cotton swab and check for yourself today. Second, share this video or simply start the conversation with someone you care about. And third, if you found value here, join me in our community of radiant, wise women inside the Savvy Silver Sisterhood. It's a place where we talk about the things no one else is talking about, where we lift each other up, where we keep learning, growing, shining, together. Because aging isn't something that happens to us. It's something we get to own. It's something we get to do with grace, power, and pride. And if you're still with me right now, I know you're one of those women. So let's take that step together, because the world still needs your light.